Hey, hello, good morning, everybody. This is Kevin Chan here, as usual, your 7:30 in the morning slot. And today we are gonna talk about the forecast, not for 2026, I say 2025, in the month of the dog, which is next month, October. We start on the 8th of October itself. So today is still September, last 2 day, right? Last 2 day of September. Right. Let's talk about the month of October. It's like so scary, right? Right now, it's like everybody is talking about next month and everybody talking about next year. So what happened to the rest of the year? We still got dog, pig, rat, and also ox. Still another 4 more months to go, right? So so fast everybody abandoning the year already, right? So you can already see all the forecast for the year of 2026 is coming out by everybody, right? So you're gonna get to see that already right now. All right, so very pressing, right? So but never mind, let's concentrate on next month first, which is the month of the dog, was beginning at the 8th of October and end at 6th of November. So for those of you who are still very confused, is that there are many calendars that is basically running in the universe, even in the Chinese, right? The one that you are familiar with, 1st until 31st or 1st until 30th, those are called the Gregorian calendar. The English calendar, that one was re-engineered by Julius Caesar, if I'm not wrong. Okay, all right, so that's the English calendar. Then on the Chinese side, we have the solar calendar, which is based on the Earth spinning around the sun for 1 round. So that's the solar calendar, which is the closest calendar system with the same English calendar system, right? So then we have the lunar calendar as well, right? So lunar calendar is the moon circling around the planet Earth for 1 round. So that one is always 30 days, right? So 1 round is always 30 days, which is 15 by the way, right? So that's why we celebrate first and also the 15 as more religious, right? So that calendar usually is used for, again, religious prayer, right? Religious prayer, or that one is called the commoner calendar. Farming uses a lot of that. Right, so good morning to everybody. First, I can see Pepper around, Manuel, Eve, Jocelyn, PJ Call is around, Kelvin, C-Hag, right? So Julie, what is the Y27384? You sounds like one of those people who have just attended one of those motivational workshop. Right, so those that go for motivational workshop usually got a name signifying their session number 1 workshop, right? So you have that. So I got Ingot around, I got Lee, right? So Andy, so how are you doing, right? So Andy is around, Gigi is around, Sabrina is around, right? So all of you as guys, right? So come, let's go in. We look at QiMen first, right? So let me just shrink myself down to the smaller version. Right, so as usual, getting in touch with me, Telegram is a good place to do so, right? So if not, you like to read newspaper, I have a newsletter that you can sign up with your email, right? So right now the news is gonna start to publish, right? So starting from next Sunday, it's supposed to call coming Sunday, right? So we will start to publish the 12 animal for 2026, pretty lengthy version, right? So and then we got the community channel on a fan page in the Facebook, right? So those one, if you go in, you need some help from the community. Certain thing that you don't understand, some question that you want to post, right? So feel free to do so. Go to the community page to do that, right? So then, how to use QiMen, right? So not too easy to use because there's a lot of way to use QiMen, right? So a lot of way to use. So I'll just give you a general conceptualization, right? So these are what we call market agreement, right? So market agreement, right? So market agreement, when we look at QiMen, right? So it's basically to look at a person, basically internal thinking pattern, right? So I said subconscious running of a person. So there's a lot of way to basically do so. Now, one of them is basically through a destiny plot for QiMen. So destiny plot for QiMen is a different way of plotting, like how your Bazi is being plotted. Right, so Bazi plotting and destiny plotting for QiMen is a little bit different, but the concept is the same. We still uses your Bazi and then we plot it into this 8 palace way of doing so. So it's much like Feng Shui. So you can see that this one is a half conglomerate of Bazi and Feng Shui. Right, so half conglomerate. So there is a lot of palaces if you take a look at it. By the way, if you don't know, you can go Typing Astro to get this printed. Just sign up for a free account, you will be able to get this printed already. Pretty simple, right? So it's just that the free account doesn't have so much feature. Right, so if you take a look at it, you know, every single palace seems to represent certain area, right? So there are things called wealth palace, there's things called family palace, career palace, right? So then there's one of them which is called the destiny palace. Destiny palace is basically the all-encompassing internal thinking pattern. So not everybody gonna have a destiny palace. Then every month there's going to be different component visiting that palace. So that component is gonna be affecting the way that you think. The way you think is going to be affect the way that you see the future, right? So, or what we currently name it as a forecast, you know, or what we call prediction, right? So you can basically call that, right? So because the QiMen is actually classified under the predictive art, right? Predictive art, it is used to take a look at the energy in the future. Right, so the energy in future is going to affect your mind going to affect your action, right? So that's basically what is looking at. So you can take a look at which is your destiny palace, which is not going to change over the year, by the way. Right, so all these forecasts is fixed component. Like the 八字 will be fixed onto your day master, right? So you can take a look at that. Then the feng shui is going to be fixed on, you know, your physical house. Right, so then this is going to be fixed on your destiny palace. Right, destiny palace is going to be different from your 八字 day master. It's going to be different right now. All right, so just tell you first, right? So and you can take a look at it as a guide, right? So it's pretty simple. So but if let's say that, you know, for those of you a bit more advanced, right? So you understand this particular thing a little bit more. If let's say that you want to just take a look at how does it affect my career, so of course you take a look at the career palace. Like for example, this one, right, the career palace in the north. So you take a look at what goes into the north. That gives you a bit of a preview of what is to come in the month. How is it going to affect your career mindset, right? So if you want to take a look at your wealth mindset, then, you know, you're going to take a look at the east, right? So, you know, which means that it's going to hit some palaces, right? So all of it, right? So with you knowing the mindset is basically knowing that how your thinking pattern is being augmented. So if you don't like that particular mindset, then, you know, please be guarded about it. If you like the particular mindset, you know, then just get some execution done, right? So, you know, keep it a bit more simple. Don't do it too what we call too complicated, right? So some would also want to use this as a manifestation. Manifestation basically is reprogramming, all right? So now today it is called prompt engineering. Yes, you can use QiMen to do prompt engineering. It's basically having an internal conversation with your brain to ask your brain, you know, please not concentrate on this, concentrate on that, you know, those kind of particular situation. So normal example that we give people is that, you know, the entire idea that, you know, once you have decided to buy something, the entire street seems to be full of that thing. Have you ever experienced that? So if today, you know, if you decided to buy a blue color car, you seem to see a lot of blue color car in the street. If you decided to get married, every single convention basically is wedding dress convention. You know, if you know that, you know, someone is pregnant already, suddenly you see all the convention is baby convention. The marriage convention suddenly disappear, you know, because why? Your brain actually filter off all this what we call rubbish information. So you can actually direct your brain and tell your brain, hey brain, you know, these are the things that I want you to concentrate on. Please release information to me. That is called a manifestation, by the way. That is just directly a manifestation. It's a command to your brain to release, right? So the one that is inside your destiny palace is what is being released at this current moment. Right, that's the default releasing mechanism for you this particular month, right? So, you know, if you don't like it, then, you know, you do your own augmenting by going to the separate palace to, you know, do the manifestation. That's all only, right? So, you know, pretty simple, at least from my side. Now let's take a look, right? So that's basically a destiny palace. You know, if you cannot see it, you know, it's basically the red color thingy. It's the red color thingy, right? So go and find out which is your destiny palace, and then you just remember the destiny palace, right? So then every time you come back for this particular session is pretty easy. It is the same for annual as well, right? So if this is the first time you're seeing, you know, your friends share this particular information with you, they send you the link, right? So, you know, if you have not clicked the like button yet, you know, please do so. All right, so come, let's get into a look. So every month there is a different chart, right? So all the components basically move around every single month, right? So do you need to know how the component move? Don't have to if you are not into plotting chart, right? So again, you can go into typing astro to access this sort of chart, right? So now this is the month chart for the month of October, right? So different things come in on the month of October. So October belong to the dog. If you don't know yet, right? October belong to the month of dog. So the dog basically belong to the northwest. So for this particular session, I will always start off with the month in line, right? So now again, you take a look at this, right? The component basically move around the entire year. So which means that whatever component that you wish to have, it will land on the palace one. It's just when only it will land the palace, and when it land onto the palace, what sort of combination it is. So in such a way that it is fair. Right? Everybody get to try out every single component will land on your palace one. So which means whatever destiny palace you have, you will have access to that particular component eventually. Right? So because it will go in round, right? So it will have its own what we call distribution pattern. Right, so let's take a look at the northwest itself, right? So northwest, if you take a look at it, right? So let's go in and take a look at northwest, right? So because a lot of people complain when they say, oh no, everything is black in color, everything is no good. Not necessarily because there were months whereby everything inside your box was red, but you still refuse to do anything. So who to blame, right? So sometimes when the things is good, right, you sit around doing nothing. When the things is bad, then only you're busy, right? So but just put it in a way, it is not bad, right? So the situation is actually not really too bad, right? So now in analyzing this, we a lot of time when we analyze this, we use we first separate the component first, or else you become very, very confused. We separate the component. So we have already went through each and every component. What does it mean? Like for example, the harm door, right? So the harm door basically means attack. So in the olden day, really, go attack people, right? So go attack people, or sometimes go hunting. Go hunting is an attack, man. You go and hunt the deer, right? So it's basically an attack formation. So you go and attack. Today we usually replace the word attack with sales. Same category of stuff, right? So whether you raise an army, whack the town, whether you pick up a weapon, go and hit the deer, or right now it's basically what we call sales, right? So what is called sales, we say. So then you can take a look at this one is basically a very strong component when it comes to sales, or anything that is similar to sales, or you are pursuing something, or you're executing something via aggression, right? So this is a bit more aggressive on it. Then tortoise, a lot of time when people talk about it, you talk about things that is fake. Now when we talk about fake, right, you need to understand fake thing is easy to influence people. So the tortoise, today we interpret it as a influential, right? So it's able to give you the wrong vision. It's like mirage, right? So if you are in the desert, almost pronounced as desert, right? If you're in the desert, right? So because of the heat on the sand and the light from the sun, right? So when they cross each other, a lot of time it causes the surface to become very reflective. So a lot of people, when you are very thirsty, that look like water. Mirage, it's not real, right? So tortoise a lot of time represent things that is not really real, right? So then grass, a lot of time today we represent businesses. Grass we represent. So grass is basically talking about a place whereby it is very risky. A lot of time we talk about the open sea. So open sea, merchant, trade, right? So a lot of time we talk about business. So this combination is a combination that is able to help you to gather people. Right, so but it's using a fake method to gather people. So this is what in the market is basically called a promotion. Yeah, so it's called promotion, or it's just fake thing, gather people around, this all those kind of stuff, right? So if you are doing that, then great. If you are not doing that, not really that good, right? So now depend on really is what you are basically doing, right? So this is a situation whereby you attract a group of people, giving them certain influence or promises, right? So it's like telling people that if you buy this, it will do this. Not really it will do one. Right, so no, a lot of sales tactic basically is over promising. This is basically a over promising to everyone, right? So a lot of times, sometimes you might say that this is like selling snake oil, right? So you buy this medicine, it will cure this, cure this. A lot of people is very capable, very greedy, right? So this investment, I tell you, I will buy this. Now, it is not saying that every single person will basically be lying, but most of the people, if you have this father or combination, right? So this is like using a lot of army, but you're not actually attacking because of the tortoise is actually not real, right? So it's look like an attack, right? So if you want to take a look at it, a example is the Zhuge Liang borrowing arrow, right? So Zhuge Liang borrowing arrow, what happened is that he was asked to manufacture arrow, right? So but he said that no way that you can manufacture this many arrow at a time. So what he did is that during a very foggy night, right? So he bring all the boats and then he make the scarecrow people, right? So basically fake people, right? So it looked like they are gonna attack with a lot of people. All the people are fake, man. So what happened is that the other side start to shoot arrow at the thing, right? So when the arrow hit the boat and hit the thing, they collected arrow, then suddenly they got arrow already. So it's a fake attack, right? So this combination is very good, if you are just moving into a market, as how the hexagram would have suggested. If you just move into the market, you have nothing, right? So you just have fake, right? So it's fake it until you make it kind of situation, right? So to gather a following for yourself. Right, so it's a good beginning, right? So it's a good beginning. So the question is, can you maintain? Right. So if you are giving a false hope, then so that eventually will unravel itself, right? So then you get yourself into trouble, right? So so again, if let's say that this is your destiny palace, I would say that you got a bit of a delusional imaginary success this particular month. It's not bad. I just tell you, it's not bad. If you really is beginning this particular journey, right? So let's say it's an exercise journey. Exercise journey easier for you to do, right? This is somebody imagining that he can win the marathon, but this is the first time you join the marathon. Right? Now, whether you have enough exercise or whether you have enough preparation, you know your best lah. But no one is gonna stop you from imagining you are winning, and it is important for you to say that you are winning to drive some morale into yourself, right? So your what we call macam boleh macam yes, right? So would also influence the people around you, right? So let's say that you are doing training in the gym, right? So your enthusiasm of thinking that you can win would also drive the rest of the people. So from that perspective, it is healthy, right? So but of course, again, if really you are not really that well trained, you suddenly, and this is the first run you are doing, yourself, like the rest of the people who look at you don't know, right? So they don't know your circumstance, right? So they don't know your circumstance, sometimes they may get cheered by you, right? So nothing wrong one, just tell you first, nothing wrong with that, okay? Right? So this is the thing that you can take a look at, right? So for me is that you better measure your actual foundation, before you get too excited with the combination of this, right? So the combination is not really bad. It is an influential combination, right? So it's an influential combination. You've got a very strong drive to move forward, right? So very strong drive to move forward. And you also have a potential of driving the people around you to move forward together with you, okay? But right, if you actually don't really have the foundation, everyone who move forward with you will die together with you, so it's it's like a typical again say money game or a typical scam, where eventually it will collapse, right? Initial starting is good, a lot of people follow you, but eventually gotta collapse, right? So just be careful of that, right? So just be careful of that, right? So and then you got your North Palace, right? So you got North Palace. So North Palace, a lot of time when we see the ambassador, right? So you guys love, we see ambassador, oh no, make money already. No, not exactly. Right, not exactly, right? So anytime when you have the tiger together, tiger basically means exertion or going too far, right? So tiger is exertion going too far, right? So when you have ambassador and also your tiger together, means that your money is stretching too far, That's it, right? So your money is stretching too far now, depending on what basically that you are doing, right? So what basically you are doing, then you can see that how far that you are stretching. Right? So you need to be careful with how you stretch, right? So tiger is very good for sport, by the way. For sports, you are always stretching your body. Why does your muscle go pain after you are going for sport? Every time your muscle go pain means that your muscle has tear. Your muscle has tear. Your muscle will regrow into a bigger muscle to sustain the requirement of the physical movement. So that's basically how your muscle do. So if you don't exercise, your muscle don't tear, your muscle shrink. That's how it works. So tiger push your muscle, push your body to the limit. So it usually go extend over the limit. Then it causes you to harm, right? So causes you to go harm, and that's good, right? That's basically good, right? So but there's certain thing that when you overstretch is not really that good, right? So like for example, if tiger and this has to do with your health, then you are overextending your health, which is not good. I just tell you first, overextending your health is not good. Like for example, if this is bleeding, then this is over bleeding. And that's not good, right? So you can see that tiger basically represent bleeding. Tiger basically represent a very aggressive situation that you are overextending. So for you, if anything that's basically in the north, are you overextending yourself? Monetary wise, right? Monetary because of the ambassador. So the ambassador already tells you that, telltales of what is basically happening, right? So then there's a delusion. Now delusion means that there are certain things that you don't see. So the dangerous part of this entire thing is that you're overextending your money and you are dumb about it. You don't know, right? So if you take a look at it, the hexagram, poison hexagram. So poison, you guys understand, poison means that there are certain things that's internal that is slowly rotting like cancer. Right? So it's like eating poison. You eat poison, you don't drop dead straight away, man. So it will slowly affect you, right? So and then it turns into mountain, right? So it turns into mountain means that it become more and more solidified. Your stupidity become more and more solidified because of the delusion dollar. You don't see, right? So there are certain things that is happening, but you don't see it, and you are still continue to overextend, right? So this one again is sometimes it's very common for those people who go for those extreme sport, right? And extreme sport is like the 24-hour marathon. Right, so you have seen people, go for a 24-hour marathon, then right after going to the finish line, die. Overextending, that's called. Right, so Malaysia, a lot of people play badminton. Right, so although badminton is one of the sport that we say that we can shine better. Right, we can shine better. So there is a lot of people who play badminton. Right, so play badminton, then after that drop dead. Right, so runner also a lot. A lot of runner run, then after that drop dead. So because they don't know that they are overextending. Right, so they think that they are fine, things like that, right? So just be careful, right? So we're going to check out, what are the things that you are overextending in the way that you're doing, especially financial related, especially financial related. Now play pickleball, no, just went and play pickleball, and then again, the 2 leg for the past 2 days, you can sit down, cannot stand back up, can stand up, cannot sit back down. Sad, isn't it? Okay, right, so today, okay, fine already, right? So the muscle strain is basically gone already, then you can go, right? So so I know that, I need a 3 days hiatus after a session, cannot go every day, right? So, so, those are the situations. So again, every time it depends on what the hell that you're doing, right? So, but the mentality right now, right, for the person who has the Destiny Palace in the North is that you feel like extending is fine. Right, because tiger actually give you energy. It's like drinking the energy drink, right? So sugar high, right? So when you sugar high or adrenaline very high, that time, right, you feel like can. But again, every single time, it will move, right? So the good thing about it is that the stem is a good combination. So the stem is a good combination means that you will be informed externally. There are people who come and inform you that you might be overextending, right? So but again, sometime you might be a bit on the defensive or on the stubborn side of things. No lah, you don't understand. Okay, careful, right? So careful on overextension, that's all, right? So careful on overextension, depending again on what the things are you doing. But ambassador is not strong, right? Ambassador not strong. Ambassador in this particular palace, so lah, right? So because you can see now, ambassador belong to where? Ambassador belong to the northeast, which is a earth energy. So earth energy right now, it goes into a water palace, right? So the earth energy going to water palace, the earth energy trying to attack the palace. So of course it's gonna be losing energy. So that's why I say it's overextension. You don't have enough money. That's it. Very simple. You don't have enough money. Or in actual, what we call more professional interpretation is that you don't have enough bargaining power. Right? You don't have enough bargaining power in the situation. So you are overextending the bargaining power. Right? So it's like you only have one asset, you try to over borrow the asset. Some people does that. Right? So when things goes wrong, too bad lah. Okay, right, so just be careful of that, right? So just be careful of that. Okay, right, so then you go to the northeast, right? So northeast got combination. So as usual, when we see harmony, it's like, oh, I'm gonna fall in love. Don't lah, right? So right? So the harmony is not just talking about love. The harmony is basically talking about a lot of time cooperative, collaboration, type of situation. As long as there are many people coming in together, it's basically called harmony, right? So, but it's together with destruction, right? So together with destruction, basically there's a lot of changes, right? So this is like having a sport team whereby the sport people keep on being replaced, right? So sport team, but people keep on being replaced. That's basically destructor, or you are going to war, those people, drop dead very fast, and then you replace with new soldier. Right? So it's those type of particular situation, right? So with the scenery door, now scenery door has a uncanny ability again to mask situation. Right? So scenery door usually is a situation whereby you let people see things that they want to see, or you want to see a certain circumstance that is probably not really too real, right? So this one is called white lies. Scenery door, you can equivalent it to white lies, right? So this is where you tell your kids that nothing is happening, right? So like some relationship very turmoil, but on the surface they still shows you a lovey-dovey situation, which is very common in the celebrity world. I say in the celebrity world, outside, they will show you, it's like, very nice, very lovely together, but go back home every day fight. Okay, right? So now sometimes you require this sort of situation, especially when you're going through tough time. Right? So when you're going through tough time, this is where they come in and give you the motivational pitch, right? So they give you the motivational pitch, to tell you that there is this if you take a look at zombie show, right? Desolated world, right? So then there is maybe a group of people who is traveling somewhere, and it will be there's a legend that we travel towards the north, right? So there's a piece of land whereby there's no zombie there, everybody is peace, so you go, those kind of situation. You need those situations to move the people, right? Although this particular fellow may be completely telling lies, right? So and then outside is basically completely decimated, but to move the people, you need to have these sort of things coming, right? So can you see that the hexagram is an abundance hexagram, right? So abundance hexagram basically means there is hope around, right? There's basically hope around, right? So there's basically a point of change, right? So again, this is 1 month only, right? So if you really want to look at this as relationship, mean that you are pretending that the relationship still got a future, right? Maybe it really gone already, doesn't really have a future because of the destruction, right? So but you want to show your children that so everything is still okay, everything is still right, so this formation is good, right? So this formation, I tell you, it's good to motivate and push yourself forward, right? So at least until you find another better thing to do, right? At least until you find anything to do. So it's a temporary promise of strength. So again, nothing wrong with it, right? So nothing basically wrong with it, right? So it's basically just giving you a mental picture of everything is fine, right? So if you again, if you have done the if you read some of the what we call prisoner of war, right? So prisoner of survivor and prisoner, they will tell you that when there were captured and being tortured or whatever it is, they, in their mind, they run a different mental scenario, right? So like one of them, which is in Vietnam, one said that, you know, when he was captured, right? So he was playing golf inside his mind. He keep on playing golf inside his mind, right? So this is this kind of situation, right? So it create a new scenery inside the mind. So when he was finally released and go back to America, his golf is actually pretty good, because, you know, his mind has already played the golf game so many times, right? So the mind synapses has already connected, you know. So when you go back there, when you actually play golf, you actually play much more better. It's this sort of situation, so you can basically do a bit of a lying to yourself. Doesn't work very well if you try to lie to others, by the way. Okay, right? Doesn't really work well when you lie to others, because the harmony does not really have that influence connection. Harmony is very good for looking for people to connect with you, right? So if you want to influence people, the black tortoise is a better way of doing so, right? So again, depending on how you want to get things done, right? So go to the east, right? So go to the east, you know, you got your moon, you got your assist, you got your death door, right? So right, so every time look at death door, is it gonna die? It's just a name only, like the death door. The death door every single time also is going to be in the plate, right? Cannot be right? So death basically means an end. Certain things need to end, right? So certain things basically need to end, and when you end certain thing, it is actually a beginning of something else, right? So, you know, any certain things end, certain things will basically begin again, right? So that is just the death door, right? So the death door basically represent farmland. Is in the southwest. It represents farmland, right? So the farmland is used for what? It's either used for death of something, you bury the fella, or it is used for growth of something, you still bury the fella. Seed lah. You bury the seed for the growth, right or not? Burying something means that later it will grow up, right? So that's basically what the death door. So now is question is what goes into death, right? So what goes into death? Because you got a moon and assistant there. Right, so moon and assistant there basically means that there are going to be certain information that's going to be able to trigger you, right? So, and because of the information, you found out that certain things need to be ended. That's all. Very easy only, man. Right? So no, not very difficult to take a look at this. Right? So this could be, let's say that, you are currently studying, this could be the end of study lah. Now, you see, end of study doesn't mean you failed in your study. It just means that, okay, you got your result already. That's it, done, finish. Right, so let's take a look at the hexagram rest. Now, observation to peel. Now, observation, again, observation basically means that, it's a opportunity for you to see what is happening. Right, so peel means that whatever you see is just one layer. And, it could be deeper layer. Like, for example, I tell you, okay, just finish your exam, you got your exam result. So what? Right, so what is the exam result for? Right, so very recent one for Malaysia, is to get into university. Then you found out that even with good exam result cannot get into university. Right, can see right? So that signal the end of your pursuance towards at least that particular university or channel. Right, so then this and that happened. Then as usual our education knight in shining armor, dear old Singapore, offered the fellow space. Okay, Malaysia don't want this fellow, we want. Right, so can you see that end of one path basically open another path to the other person. Right, so there are many paths that can open. Right, so this basically just tell you that that particular line of pursuit of you crying that I want to go to local university, it's gone. That road is gone already. Right, that road is gone mean that just go and find a new road. That's all only. So nothing much, man. Right, so nothing much. Right, so the information that come could be many different things. Right, so now this could be a, let's say that this is your relationship palace. Right, so your chart got a relationship palace. Right, so this could be a relationship palace. It signal mean that there are certain information about relationship coming in that will cause an end to the relationship. That's all. Right, so let's say that investment, right? So let's say the investment, right? So certain information come in telling you that that particular stock is having a bit of a problem, having a bit of a scam, right? So whatever money that you make, At that point in time, it's gonna end. That's all only. Okay? Doesn't mean anything. Okay? Correct or not? Right? So the pure side of it is what happened after that. Right? What basically happened after that, you know? So your money could be stuck, cannot withdraw, right? So, you know, it could be a situation, you know, whereby the thing dropped so much that, you know, you're holding worthless paper, right? So worthless paper, worthless share, right? So a lot of things can basically happen after that, right? So, you know, yeah. So if you want to find out about things, right? So if your intention this particular month is that, you know, oh, I want to find out a certain thing. So this palace is good lah, right? For you to find out about certain things. So the question is, can you swallow the information? Information is together with death door one, right? So it's usually a bit more harder to swallow one. So ask yourself lah, whether, you know, you really want to find out. So a lot of people say, I want the truth, you know, but I can tell you, nobody wanted the truth, right? So they wanted the truth in the version that they like. It's not that they really wanted the truth. Okay, right? So if you want to find out about information, this is a good palace for you to use, right? So it's just that, again, after you find out the information, pills mean that there are story behind it one. It's not just find out, right? So it's like, no, I want to know, pretentious, not necessarily. So again, back to the relationship, you know, I want to know whether my partner loves me. You will find out. You will find out, right? So no, that may shatter your delusion, right? So again, relationship also, a lot of people got a lot of delusion, especially nowadays, right? Because while watching too much Korean drama, right? So they got too many Korean delusion, right? So, you know, you want to be, you know, you want to be like, you know, somebody from a very different background, you know, like family very poor, you know, you want that CEO to love you. In real life, it really doesn't really happen. Okay, anyway, okay, right? So it's those are situations. So if your intention is just to find out, go ahead, good palace, right? So, you know, remember, difficult to swallow, right? So go southeast, right? So southeast, southeast a bit dangerous, right? So because why? You got the snake, right? So now the snake and the what we call the tortoise, right? So the tortoise, right? Both of them a lot of time is used to indicate unruly circumstance or unruly behavior, right? So the tortoise we say is fake, right? So the snake is dodgy, right? The snake basically is dodgy, right? So the snake has intention of misguiding you, whereas the tortoise in a way it is not misguiding you, because the tortoise is already know it's fake already. Okay, right? So the tortoise is selling you a fake thing, right? So whereas the snake is trying to influence you, telling you that the thing may be real. So that's why snake sometimes is a little bit more dangerous, right? So it represents what we call the unknown, right? The turtles already known, this one is unknown, right? So together with fear, so, you know, you have fear together with snake, then, you know, you are what we call fear mongering, right? So it's fear mongering itself, right? So then together with hero star, right? So a lot of time you see hero star, is, oh, isn't hero star the good guy? There are no star good guy, there are no star bad guy one. Just tell you first, right? So when the hero star is together with snake, is that it's a situation whereby you are working together with a powerful figure, influential powerful figure, right? So if you know influential powerful figure, a lot of time they unduly exert their influence onto people who are not really that good, right? So a lot of industry is like that. Let's say doctor, right? So let's say doctor, you need to go through internship, right? Doctor, you need to go through internship. So let's say that, you know, you are working together, you know, go internship. So you go into this particular very reputable hospital. Now a lot of people also want to do that, right? So, you know, same thing, anything that basically has to go through this internship or housemanship one, like a doctor, right? So, you know, you want to go to the best hospital, right? So then let's say lawyer, you want to go to the best law firm. Auditor, right? So you want to go to the best audit firm, right? So you go and ask all the intern, there's, you know, hospital, lawyer, all this kind of intern, right? So do you think that they have a good time? Especially, you know, please go and talk to the accountant, right? So accountant go for big four one. You see how they are being, you want to call bully, right? So the nice side is that, you know, I'm giving a lot of opportunity to increase my experience, which is good. Right? So, or else, you're being, sent for a tough job, right? So sent for a job that other people don't want. It's feeling like being bullied. Snake is always lying. You don't call them lying. They purposely conceal certain part of the information. Right? If you're talking about outright lying, is turtle. Turtle outright lying. Snake conceal part of the information. Need to know basis, right? So yeah, we'll be together, right? So this one is give you an opportunity to work together with powerful people, but be careful. They'll basically be repressing you, right? So again, your mind, you need to have two sides. If you're really the small party you are starting up, you know already that's the deal, right? So which is in a lot of industry, that is the deal, right? So especially in the entertainment industry. Yeah, entertainment industry is like that, right? So you go and watch all the video about entertainment industry, the dark side of the acting career. Right? Go and watch those kind of stuff, right? So you need to stay alert with Theodore. In a way that you need to stay guarded in the Theodore, right? So again, my advice is, do you know what you are going into, right? So because if you take a look at what you're going into, right, it is an opposition. So opposition means that when you go into the place that time, the expectation is going to be different from what you expect. Same thing, so it's like young doctor, you go in, you things like, I'm gonna save the people. Then you go inside, you find out that your job is not to save the people, right? How many of you are doctor? Right? So you're a lawyer, young lawyer going in, it's like, I'm gonna fight for justice. Then you find out that it's actually not fighting for justice. Right? So you're a young auditor, so I'm gonna do compliance, then you find out that the entire auditing job is not to do compliance. Shit. Right? So and then go into obstruction, there seems to be more trouble blocking you than anything else. Same thing lah. Right? So again, all this industry is exactly the same. So it's like you are giving the opportunity to basically work together with the big guy, right? So the big guy will generally exploit you, but in truth, you just been given the opportunity to increase your experience. So right now, you need to know what is your circumstance, how long you're going to play this game, because you have to play this game. A lot of this industry, if you don't go through the housemanship, internship, whatever ship that you want to call, right, cannot survive. Right? So like lawyer, you need to follow another lawyer for 3 years. Then the lawyer need to sign you. Then only you can become a full-fledged lawyer. The property also is the same. You want to become the real estate agent, you need to follow a real estate agent. I don't know, it's for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. Then the real estate agent will need to sign for you. Then only you can open your own real estate agency and become an agency leader. All this kind of thing is there, right? So during that particular period, it's like, they will guide me. No lah, shit, they're gonna guide you lah, right? Healing doesn't give custom. Right? So in a way, yes, right? So if you go into the medical industry, they will unfortunately tell you if you heal the fella, you will lose a customer. Sad. All right, so sad, right? So now you need to think of your own exit, right? So the circumstances as such is giving you as such. The Peng Xin combination basically tells you that there's actually an opportunity for you to work together with them. Right? So if you want to work together with a rather, you want to call the name reputable or more high profile people, this is a good palace to use, by the way. Right? It's just that the deal is a little bit more raw. Right? So if you know the situation, right? If you know the situation, right? So you already know what sort of experience you want, you're building something, then go in and get started. It's better for you to be attached to big firm. Right? So it's better for you to come out and tell them that I work in Big Four before, I work in this particular hospital before. Doesn't matter, the experience inside is a piece of shit. Okay, Ken? Right. Go and do this. Right, so let's take a look at South, right? So South got Open Door and Chief, right? So so this is another one, right? So it's like, oh, Chief. Right? Wow, Open Door, this must be, what we call big deal. In a way, yes, it's a big deal. Right, so but you can take a look at it, the what we call the stamp formation, elegant seal rebelling officer. Chances of you getting backstabbed is pretty high. Right? Yeah, chances of getting backstabbed. Ungrateful people. Right? So ungrateful people, right? So is it people that probably who have gotten opportunity, right? So they have gotten opportunity, but then they they are not thankful with the situation, right? So this is like the granary, you know, I said the granary door is open wide, right? So you are able to go inside the granary to access the resource, the food, right? So you know, now so if you are the person, right? Please don't go and backstab people, right? So your boss may have given you the opportunity to come into the management for some great reason, right? So you don't go and backstab it, right? So but for you who are opening the door for people, you better be careful of people backstabbing you, right? So there is a chance of backstabbing, right? So there is a chance, right? So backstabbing also means that this particular, I think more, yeah, there's a green dragon written here. So there's a green dragon written here, right? So I think it's more a situation of you, let's say you raise an attack dog, the attack dog bite you back. Right, so that's a feeling of betrayal, right? So, but you forgot that this may be the natural instinct of this particular animal, right? So, you know, if you have been watching, you know, there's a lot of people who try to raise wild animal, tiger, crocodile, bears, right? So, you know, say, I know, I found a bear, you know, the bear was very small, you know, and then for some reason the bear slapped the hell out of the fella died. Tiger also, you know, the tiger come and, you know, bite the fella, attack the fella, right? So because why? The nature of that particular fella is wild, right? You cannot expect them to go, right? So some people nature is like they are unthankful person. So again, it's not your wrong, right? So but if you are the fella, right? So again, if you want to open opportunity, this is a great palace to go. It's just that the scary part is that, you know, you please do not stab the fella who opened the door for you, that's all. Be thankful, right? So we Chinese say, "Yam sui si," drink water, remember the source. Right? So you remember who's the person who opened this to you. You know, no matter how is it, you know, please don't go and do a backstab, because why? This moment you do backstab, next moment other people will stab the hell out of you, you know, especially in a small industry. Right? So especially in a small industry, if you do certain thing, right, the entire industry will know about you, and then how are they going to work together with you? Right, so remember I told you about, you know, emperor cannot directly go and kill the general that is contributing but is threatening him. You will send a third party, small people to do it. It's this sort of situation, right? So it's this sort of situation, right? So you better be careful also if you know, backstab on your senior, or, you know, whoever it is you're backstabbing, right? So, you know, they may not openly do anything to you, fine, you know, but they may use their side influence to get rid of you, right? So be careful of that, right? But anyway, you know, so if you're looking for job, good talent, because the open door is basically job related, right? So, you know, yeah, you know, take a look at the hexagram. So hexagram is unity to big livestock, which is good, which is basically is good, by the way. First, it is basically is good, right? So basically is, you know, you found something and then, you know, there's abundance of it. So again, it's like going into the treasure room. You guys saw those, you know, treasuring movie, right? You know, everybody come together, you know, work together, reach the treasure room, and then wah, ha, 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 then, you know, one starting to kill the other starting to kill the other. You got this sort of situation going on. You have potential of this sort of situation going on, right? So just be guarded on this and make sure that you are not the fella who's gonna do the stabbing, right? So if you're gonna stab, you know, please use a third party to stab. Right, so, you know, just remember, right, so things goes around, comes around, right? So good palace if you're looking for opportunity, right? So, you know, go to this particular palace, unlock your mind to see opportunity, right? Be careful of the people who give you opportunity, or, you know, the one that you give opportunity to, right? So southwest, right? So, you know, southwest, you have the heaven, you got pillar, right? So pillar generally it represents blockages, right? So in actual sense, because it is in the West Palace, right? So West Palace, the Tui Gua Palace, right? So it's a lot of time has to do with misinformation, right? So misinformation. So a lot of time I give people example is basically the very busy market. Have you been to market before? Wet market, not your supermarket. Right, wet market, when you go in, every single store owner will start to say, hey, fish very fresh, you know, vegetable very nice, di-di-da, very noisy. A lot of information bombarding you, right? So a lot of time when the information bombard you, you forgot what you're supposed to buy. You end up buying a lot of things that is, you know, useless. right? So snake will go hungry for a long time to swallow its own. Right. Okay, right. So no, those are situations, right? So that's which means that if you take a look at it, there's seems to be a lot of miscommunication, right? So if you take a look at the hexagram, right, trap hexagram, so already give you a bit of a hint, right? So this particular situation can cause a bit of a snag to yourself, and then there's great exceeding. Great exceeding means very difficult to fix, by the way. Right, so this is like falling into a well that is, one of those trap well, those that you walk in and then you drop in one. Right, so those mesh. So you drop inside already, it's a very deep well, very difficult for you to climb back out. So don't get yourself into trouble, right? So don't get yourself into trouble, right? So and then Wen Kui also, you guys know, is a combination. Right, so Wen Kui also is a combination itself, right? So it's a green dragon elegance here. Right? Is it good or is it bad? Right? So good-ish, right? So good-ish, right? So again, I say that this is a good, if you want to use this in a tactical manner, it's good to trick people into a trap. Right, it's good to trick people into a trap, right? So this one is a situation, whereby you can see that there's a heaven 9, heaven there. Future is good, but right now is not good. Right, future is good, right now is not good. And you can also see that this palace has the hostile and also the death and emptiness. Anytime you got hostile and death and emptiness together, right, it's a very turmoil situation of moving forward, coming back, moving forward, coming back, moving forward, coming back, moving forward, coming back. Right, so it's those type of situations. So in a way that it's like go forward cannot, come back also not really good. Right, so very confusing situation, right? It's basically very confused. And the rest door, the rest door, in a way you can say that it is a overconfident situation, right? So this is a person who is a little bit overconfident, or a lot of time rest door we say lazy. This is a lazy bugger who look at the future but forgot about the current situation. Right, so things will fix itself, right? This sort of situation, but the things is not fixing itself. Right? So some people is like that. Some people is like that. They say they hope for a better future, but they don't do anything right now. Right. So overall, again, anything good you can do with this, again, unless you are intentionally trying to put somebody in a tough situation. Sometimes you might want to, right? So or you purposely give them false information. False or misdirected information, right? So if somebody come and ask you about certain thing, what is happening, and then you decide not to tell. It could be this particular situation, right? Yeah, right. So again, you guys love a relationship, right? Relationship basically is your friends come over and ask you, hey, how is this guy? You know that this guy basically is a piece of shit, right? So but then you tell you, oh, okay, not bad lah, this particular person like that. You see, you are purposely, painting a future for this particular person, and you know that this particular person won't do anything, won't do any due diligence on the situation. Right? So let the fella die on his own. Right? You tell him also the fella might not get the real answer one. Right? So those are where you need to take a look at. Right? So let's take a look at the West. Right? So for me personally, I think the West look pretty good. Right? So the West look pretty good, right? So live door, right? So a lot of time you guys also love live door. And live door basically represent profit. So just now again, the ambassador represent money, right? That money come from negotiation, right? Deal negotiation. That's basically what ambassador is, right? So live door is a marking profit, right? If it's your health palace, which one? Just now, Southwest. If your health palace pretty okay, right? So let me just see. You can go back on Southwest. Right, Southwest, right? So if Southwest, this particular is health palace is pretty alright. So if it's a health palace, be careful of the person who is giving you advice. Your health is actually okay. Right, so your health is actually fine because the rest door actually help with the thing, right? So but then with the pillar there again, the information that you receive. Please, if this situation don't do self-diagnostic. Self-diagnostic usually you get yourself into a lot of problems because why the quality of the information that you're receiving is not good. Right, so back to this one, live door, right? So live door, Earth represent current resources, right? So anything that's with the Earth is basically whatever you have right now. The 9 heaven is whatever that you might have in the future, right? 9 heaven govern future, whereas the 9 earth govern now, right? So, and heart is basically your management or your decision making. So you have a very strong in terms of method of basically creating wealth, right? So this is like rolling a snowball, right? So rolling a snowball. So you need to right now decide is where should your resources go, right? So you have to go and decide where to. Now retreat here doesn't mean run away. Just tell you first, retreat doesn't mean run away. So in what we call in war or in battle, retreat basically mean gather your people together. That's basically retreat. Right, so because when you go and attack that time, right, everybody is busy attacking. So people may go different direction, right, doing different things, right. So when you retreat and go into fellowship means that you are gathering resource together, right. So retreat means that you don't take your money, right. So if this is money because it's life dorm, you don't throw them all over the places. You gather people together, right. So you gather people together, right? So, and you'll be able to plan for a correct route of attack, right? So this is basically bringing all your maybe investment and all this together and decide that this is the route. So this is where the business decide what are the actual product that they want to go through. Apple been through this before, right? So Apple been through this. Apple last time got a lot of product, a lot of rubbish, everything also they got. Then when Steve Jobs come back, Steve Jobs said that, okay, so the rest of the product will throw away, and then we will just concentrate on this few product. That's what happened. Right, so same thing, right? So for you, this particular month, right? So if you want to see how you can concentrate your effort, this would be a good palace to do, right? So I think it's a good thing, right? So especially during this particular month, after almost a year of doing stuff, you've been doing a lot of stuff the year, right? So it's time for you to sit down and ask yourself, from all the things that I'm currently doing right now, right, which are the one that's working? Yeah, right. So for those that you have not done anything at all, right? The New Year resolution, the last year resolution that become this year resolution, which you want to become next year resolution, right? Those are rubbish, right? If you have not started by now, how important is that resolution to you? None, right? None, right? So it's time for you to discover which are the one that is working, and you double down for next year lah. Right, so if this is working, right, so a lot of people also is the same. Some they come out and say that I want to change my career, blah blah blah. You ask yourself first, is this career working? Is this what you're looking for? Right, so now career not difficult. Everybody career is actually the same. The same mean that X amount of money for Y amount of time you spend into it. Now Y amount of time basically mean 8 hours a day, 24 days a month. That's normal calculation. So that's the amount of hour that you have spent for the X amount of what we call income, right? So can you get the same income by doing less hour, other job, right? So like for example, a lot of people is being paid, let's say 4,000. Right? So you got your 8 hour times 24 days a month to earn your 4,000. What if you find one client that's going to be paying you 4,000 a month? You don't need to spend that much time. Right, so 4,000 a month, or there are certain investments. Some people will say, I got this investment, very good one, right? So every month, it is paying me, like $1,000, right? So it's like, so they come out like, you listen to it, it's a scam, every month, they'll give you back 1%, so it's 12% a year, right? So 12% a year is a lot, Our EPF with all the brilliant people running it inside can only give you 5%, and who the hell is this guy going to give you 12% a year? Right, 1% a month, right? So, but again, the part of it that they don't tell you is that 1% a month, which means that you actually, let's say $1,000, you need 100,000. You are risking 100,000 to get that 1,000 baht. 1% mean, right? So, which means that if anything happen, which will happen, right? This 100,000 go into smoke. You will need 100 months to recover this 100,000. 100 months is 10 years. So you are putting your 10 years, in that little 1,000 baht greed. Right? So now, you ask yourself, like, if you compare, let's say, it's a 4,000 bucks, I spend this much money, I get this salary, or 4,000 bucks a month in this investment mean that you need to have 400,000. You need to put 400,000 into, you need to risk 400,000 to get the same 4,000. So tell me which one is a better deal. Right, this one, number 2 one, if your first question is that where does the 400,000 come from, highly likely you need to con other people to give you the money. So if anything happens, those people will hunt you down. Ask yourself lah, right? Or you go and find something that you can sell for 4,000. Right, simple, right? So that's basically it, right? So it's helped you in terms of that particular concentration of resource. Right? So if you are looking for this, right? So this palace seems to be the, for me, I feel easier to use. Right, repercussion is lesser, right? So it's got lesser repercussion, right? So now, despite if you take a look, somebody said that, oh, there's a dragon return there, right? So there's a dragon return. Just remember that palace got emptiness one. Emptiness means that it may not function, right? So and you can see that this particular palace, the dragon return is together with Geng. Which is not a fun thing, right? So the dragon return is with Geng and not a fun thing. Anything that have a Geng inside there usually is problematic, right? Usually it's a bit more problematic, right? So to me is that the West Palace easier to use, right? So the what we call the repercussion is lesser, and then it amplify your effort, right? So it amplify your effort in the future, right? So you can go and use the West Palace to change the way of you thinking, right? So if you're going to use the West Palace, mean that you're going to be more focused, right? You're going to be more focused in the way that you are doing things. I think that is a better way to do so. Okay, cool, right? So that's basically your 8 palaces, and that's going to be your month of October, right? So see which sort of mindset do you want to install it into yourself, and you go and choose the appropriate palace to help, right? So sometimes it's that if you know that the action that you want to bring, then you know which particular palace is assisting to you, right? So that you can basically do, right? So that's it, right? Pretty simple, not too difficult. All right, so tomorrow maybe we'll go through the feng shui, then after that we will do the 10-day master. All right, so take care, guys. Have a good holiday again. Yes, I think 1st of October is a holiday, at least in Malaysia. I don't know which state lah, forgot. Somebody birthday. I'm still working, so don't care. All right, guys, see you all. Bye.